CTN Radio. Hear the difference. Now the news. I'm Sui. The presidents of the 5 Central Asian countries have all arrived in Xi'an to attend the China Central Asia Summit, which is scheduled for Thursday and Friday. They're joining Chinese President Xi Jinping in the ancient city. The event aims to cement regional collaboration. Meng Qingxiang reports.
Traditional and new energy, commodities and digital commerce are likely to be the focus of trade cooperation during the summit. President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev of Kazakhstan was the first to arrive. Chinese President Xi Jinping expressed his pleasure at hosting Tokayev on Wednesday and wished him a happy birthday. President Xi and his wife will also hold a special welcoming ceremony and grand dinner for the leaders and wives of the 5 countries. In fact, altogether, nearly 20 bilateral and multilateral activities will be held during the 2-day summit.
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has welcomed Russia's decision that will allow the extension of the Black Sea Grain Initiative. Miguel Barbet reports from Turkey.
On Wednesday, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan delivered the good news and announced that the agreement was extended for 2 months. Russia's Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova confirmed the deal extension and added that the agreement signed last year in July should be implemented without any distortions. Moscow has threatened to quit the deal repeatedly, arguing that though there are no direct Western sanctions on Russian agricultural exports, restrictions on payments and insurance are impacting their shipments. The deal extension was welcomed by Ukraine. However, the Ukrainian Deputy Prime Minister for Restoration, Alexander Kubrakov, accused Russia of using food as a weapon and blackmail.
China's Special Envoy for Eurasian Affairs, Li Hui, has met with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. The Chinese Foreign Ministry says Li also held talks with senior Ukrainian officials from several departments during a 2-day visit to Ukraine. They exchanged views on the political settlement of the Ukraine crisis and China-Ukraine relations. Li said China would urge the international community to push for a peaceful settlement of the conflict and pursue efforts to help restore peace as soon as possible. The United Nations and its humanitarian partners are seeking $3 billion in relief for victims of the Sudan crisis. A UN spokesperson says the world body is working to increase life-saving assistance for millions of people in need in Sudan. The World Food Program has reached more than 200,000 people with over 5,500 tons of food in the country. The WFP officials say the UN agency is helping those who are internally displaced, as well as those who have fled Sudan. A new report finds the world could reach a critical global warming threshold in the next few years. The World Meteorological Organization says breaching the 1.5 degrees Celsius threshold may only be temporary, but it will be the clearest signal yet of how quickly climate change is accelerating. Sally Patterson reports from New York.
This report has really concerned climate scientists and climate activists alike. It really does show alarming figures about how warm the climate is getting and what it's likely to do over the next 5 years, and is now likely that before 2027 the planet will warm by more than 1.5 degrees Celsius, and that is significantly higher than what was hoped for, what was planned by world leaders way back in 2015 of the Paris Agreement, when they set a target of not allowing the planet to warm by more than 1.5 degrees, and now it looks like we are hurtling towards that landmark figure.
The National Financial Regulatory Administration of China has been officially launched in Beijing. It marks an important step for the country's new round of institutional reform in the field of financial supervision. The administration takes the place of the China Banking and Insurance Regulatory Commission. The new financial regulator will take on certain functions of China's central bank and the China Securities Regulatory Commission. The NFRA is in charge of regulating the financial industry except the securities sector. In sports, the UFC has announced that reigning women's strawweight champion Zhang Weili will defend her title against Brazil's Amanda Lemos in Boston on August 19th. Zhang will have her first defense of her second title reign. Zhang reclaimed the championship against 2-time title holder Carla Esparza in November last year. 45-year-old Lemos has a record of 13 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw with 8 KOs. And that's the news. I'm Sui.